Hello students, let's revise until now what we have seen. We have seen the epithelial tissue, the structure of epithelial tissue, various types of epithelial tissues that may be the simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar or a stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar or pseudostratified and transitional epithelium. Until this, up to this all the epithelial is uh, on a function of to maintain the lining or to um, composition of a body. In today's lecture we are going to see the another version of the epithelium is that the it composed of some glands. So what is meant by the glands? Glands are nothing but they are secreting something. They are secreting something which is helpful for our body. So we are going to see in somewhat detail what are the glands and what they are made up of, which type of cells they are made up of. Obviously epithelium itself, but the composition of the gland and all the structural characteristics and functions of the gland and the types of the gland we are going to see. We have stated in our last lecture that the what are the simple differences between the simple epithelium or stratified epithelium, and what type of a cell and structure of that particular cell we have defined, and we have taken the proper information on regarding the epithelial tissue itself. So in today's lecture we are going to see the specific type of epithelium which is known as the glandular epithelium. So objectives for the today's lecture are the we have to know that structure and function of a glandular epithelium, the difference between endocrine gland and exocrine gland. So we have to specify that what are the endocrine glands and what are the exocrine glands, what they are made up of, what are their functions, how they carry their functions, and how they are carry their roles to maintain our body or our characteristics or our functioning of body. They have very specific and important role to maintain our circadian rhythm. The third objective is how to recognize and describe the histological structure of the various glands. We are going to see in and we are going to elaborate what are the glandular epithelium and what are the types of the glands today. So glandular epithelium is nothing but an aggregation of secreting cells into a definite structure for the purpose of carrying on secretion or excretion is known as the gland. Gland is nothing but the composed or composition of a secreting cell unit, we can say. The epithelium not only in protective functioning. Up till now we have seen that the all the it may be the keratinized epithelium, or it may be the different or cuboidal or different type of structure we have seen. They are in their function was to protect our body or to maintain our cell lining or to maintain our structure. Here we are going to see another one proper function, that is the secreting epitheliums. So A gland may consist of a single cell, or it may be composed of a multicellular also. The example of a single cellular glands are the goblet cell, and these goblet cell are is located at the inner lining of the our duodenum to or our stomach to secrete the HCl for the purpose of the protection from the our ingested microbes. Okay, so you are seeing you are watching that in this uh, stained slide, or the stained picture is of the goblet cell. But how these goblet cells are formed, that the disintegration of the inner cellular material of the specific cell is carried out, the degeneration is there, and after this degeneration this cell is converted into the gland, and this gland is secreting the HCl. Okay, so in next slide we are going to see some classification of the glands. Glands may be classified in the following ways, that the first one is by their structures. By their structure means what? How they are look like. Okay, or how their structure is. They are unicellular, multicellular, or they are exocrine or endocrine. The unicellular means what? The when gland is formed by the single cell. Okay, and multicellular is when several cell units combine to form a gland, and this combination is secreting a particular type of the secretion that's known as the multicellular gland. Okay, the exocrine gland. Third one is exocrine gland, when gland has its own ducts for the secretion. These are the exocrine glands. And fourth one is endocrine glands, when the gland is without duct. So without duct means they are secreting their secretions indirectly through the blood stream. Okay, so in first picture, this is the stain slide of the epithelium, which consist of the goblet cells and the brush borders you are going to see, and that the lumen, that whitish colored lumen is a combined duct for the all goblet cells, or these goblet cells are secreting HCl into this duct and that duct opens into the stomach. And the next one, the red arrow is showing that the combined duct for the all these secreting Acini cells. Okay, so all other cells come are around this duct are secreting the particular secretions. This is the slide of the parotid gland, and these other secreting Acini cells secreting the um, specific secretion, and this uh, red arrow is shown, that arrow is pointing towards the combined duct for these all secreting cells. Also this is the multicellular, and the upper one is unicellular, and this last one, the pituitary gland, is the example of the endocrine gland itself. Okay, and the second one, by their secretions. By their secretions means what type of secretions that particular gland is secreting. That may be the mucus. Mucus means what? When gland secretes a slimy substance. Mucus is nothing but a slimy substance which is secreted by a particular gland, is known as a mucus secreting glands. So they are classified on the basis of the which type of material they are going to secrete. So they are going to secrete, suppose, a serous. Serous means what? The somewhat watery fluid. which is secreted by some glands, is known as a serous, or a mixed means mucus plus a serous, means a slimy material plus a watery secretion, is known as a mixed type of secretions. And fourth one is a miscellaneous, is neither watery or nor slimy, it is a different type of the secretions. In this particular picture you are going to see the three types of salivary glands. The mm, one which opens the submandibular, one is the parotid gland and its own duct you are going to see, which opens in the buccal cavity itself. And the three types of the opening of the submandibular and submucosal gland. These are the three type of the salivary glands which are classified, or which are uh, known by their secretions. Okay, they are going to secrete some specific slimy material, is nothing but the saliva, and saliva is full of the some enzyme known as a amylase. Okay, and next the third category, by the manner in which the secretion are released. By the manner means what? For the purpose and how the secretion is released is known as the this category is the particular category. The first one is a merocrine. The merocrine glands are nothing but the merocrine glands is intact even after giving out the secretions. Means there is nothing shredded, or there is no loss of the cell after the secretions are secreted out, or they are secreted by means of the some vesicles. So you are seeing that the salivary glands we have seen, they are secreting the uh, saliva, and these salivary glands, how they are going to secrete the saliva, this is the mechanism we are going to see in the detail in next point itself. The apocrine glands are nothing but the some part of the gland cells is removed with the secretions. So example of these apocrine gland are the mammary gland, and you know that the mammary glands are uh, or the mammary glands are used to feeding purposes. Okay, so some part of the secreting cells are removed and go with the secretions, and these secretions which some part is removed with the secretions is containing the antibodies, and these antibodies are um, going to protect the young one from the this is this is a one pathway of immunological thing which is going to protect the young ones. So we have the doctor suggests that the uh, mother should feed uh, their baby on her own milk. And third one is a holocrine. Holocrine glands are nothing but when the entire cell are loosed with the secretions. Holo means what? Holo means the entire. Holocrine gland is nothing. The entire gland is secreted or oozed out from the secretions. And the example of these secretory glands are nothing but the sebaceous glands or our oil glands we are going to see, and this location of the oil glands are in the skin. Okay, so we are going to see in detail the exocrine glands, what are the exocrine glands and what are the type of the exocrine glands itself. The glands with duct, we have seen that the exocrine glands have their own duct to pass on their secretions. The exocrine glands have their own duct which carry their secretions to an epithelial surface. Most of the glands of body are of this type, uh, most of the glands seen in our body are of this exocrine type, which are the sweat glands, sebaceous glands, liver, pancreas, or the intestinal and the gastric glands itself. There are two subtypes of exocrine glands. First one is a simple gland, contains the single secretory passage or a single system of a secretory passage opening into the unbranched duct. So in first picture, you're going to see the simple type of a simple glands, and these are the some type of a simple glands, but this labeled um, picture is going to see that the how simple gland is a structure that in a purple color the secretory cells are seen, that are the glandular epithelium, and this is nothing but the secretory unit of the particular gland, and that white lumen, the red arrows protruding outside, are nothing but the duct of that particular gland. So example of these glands are the glands of large intestine, or glands of uh, simple, like the goblet cells are of this unicellular type of uh, glands are seen. And the subtype, that is a simple straight tubular glands. Simple straight tubular gland consists of a simple epithelia lined tubule which opens into a surface. Example glands of a large intestine. In a left upper corner, the simple types of tubular glands are mentioned. They are straight and they are containing their own duct, and it's opened into the epithelial surface. The second one, simple coiled tubular glands. These simple or coiled tubular glands are straight and unbranched, but they are coiled at their tip. Uh, for example, the sweat glands, and these type of glands are also this type of cells we have also seen in the cortex of the kidney tubules itself. The third one is a simple branch tubular glands. They are simple glands, like a simple, and it's also composed of a simple epithelia. And these simple glands, or these tubular glands, is seen in the deeper portions of tubules are coiled. Okay, so these are in the kidney of tubules. Example, the cardiac, pyloric, and the stomach, and the uterine glands itself. The second main type is simple tubular or tubuloacinar glands. What are the tubuloacinar means, or what are the simple tubulolar means? Simple tubulolar or alveolar means the glands, and they are like a button. They are like a sac-like structures, and the acinar nothing but the big sac. You can point them the big sacs, or their secretory units are bigger than the alveolar. So why these glands are named as alveolar means they are look like the alveoli of the lungs. So why that? That's why they named as alveolar, or acinar means they are look like the cells of acini, which secretes the most or bundles of the batches of the secretions. In next slide, we are going to see the compound glands. Okay, this is the second main type of the our exocrine glands are the compound glands. When a gland consists a duct system, here word is mentioned a duct system. There was a word for the duct. Their single duct is carried out, and here word is mentioned as a duct system. Its own system is developed in this particular thing. That is the elaborated and branched. It pretty much branched than the simple one. So it's known as the compound glands. Okay. When a gland is consist of a duct system that is elaborate and a branch, it is called as a compound glands. And the first subtype is a compound tubular gland. In a first picture, you are seeing that the compound tubular, it has many ducts which opens into a common duct or a main duct. The, that duct opens into the epithelial surface. This type of a duct or this type of a glands are seen in the kidney or in a testis, where seminiferous tubules and the all these things, or the generation of the sperm is maintained. And the second subtype of the compound glands are the compound tubulo-alveolar glands. As I said, alveolar, which structure is look like the alveoli of the lungs. When the terminal portions of a compound tubular gland swells into a sac, you are going to see in the middle portion of the middle section is a swell like a sac, and these are sacs, or these are branched sacs, ducts open into a main duct, and main duct is open into a epithelial surface itself. So these swell into the sac-like structure, and the example of these are the salivary glands or Bernard's gland itself. And next one is the compound alveolar gland. The compound alveolar gland is when gland has a large number of ducts. When gland has a large number of ducts which end in a dilated sac. So this is the second one, the compound tubuloalveolar is not pretty much dilated, but the third one, that the compound alveolar gland is much dilated from the uh, tubuloalveolar, that is dilated like a sac-like structure, and these glands, the one and only example of this is the mammary glands, so where the production of milk is there. The second main type of glands are the endocrine glands. The word itself determines the what are the characteristics endocrine, the gland which lack the duct, and their secretion is directly protruded into the blood, or this poured into the blood, or they secreted into the blood, and this secreted specific substance is nothing but the hormone. So these hormones are secreted from the endocrine glands, and these are the target specific, and these hormones are goes in the bloodstream, and its target for the targeted organ, or it stimulates that organ, and their production of the uh, production is begin. So take an example like the hypothalamus is secreting the some substance, and the your uh, kidney or your testes are stimulated from that particular hormone. So gonadotropins, for example. So these gonadotropins are secreted or is signaled from the adenohypophyseal hormone, and this is secreted, and this is targeted for the your gonads. So the gonads are uh, boost up. So these glands are multicellular glands and highly vascular glands. So the cellular structure of the endocrine glands is a diverse nature. The epithelial cells main arranged in the clumps. Clumps mean the clusters, and as the islands of Langerhans we are going to see in a pancreas, the follicle in the thyroid glands, and cords in the adrenal cortex. So these are the some main major hormones, or major glands, endocrine glands in the male and the female uh, body. The first one is the hypothalamus, which is situated in the brain and which signals for the pituitary gland. Second one is the pituitary gland. Third one is parathyroid gland or thyroid gland. Next one is adrenal gland, which is situated upstairs of the kidney, and the pancreas, which secretes the some digestive juices, and the gonads, like the female, in female ovaries are there, and in male testes are there. These are all the endocrine glands which secretes a specific substances which called as a hormones, and these all hormones are secreted in the directly in the bloodstream. So mechanism of secretion of how the secretion is takes place from the endocrine gland, we are going to how they are mechanized, and how they are doing their functions. The first one is the entry of a sebas substance into the cell. Entry of a substance into the cell means what? The cell membrane is more permeable than the cell is at the rest. Means what? The before, when the cell is in the resting condition, then the cell membrane or this permeable membrane is not so much um, permeable for the substances. Then after these stimulations, or after this signaling, the diffusion is takes place, and get converted into other substances, that is nothing but the hormone. The second step is nothing but the elaborating or a synthesis of a secreting product. Synthesis of secreting product means what? Um, the which which substance is diffused, and on that material, the on the Golgi complex, in the Golgi complex, or it's processed in these particular glands. It is occur at the base of the cells near the mitochondria and microsomes. The secretion material is modified by the Golgi complex, or the process is done on in the Golgi complex, and it migrates towards the free surface of apical surfaces. If the secretion is product is not needed, then it accumulates into the vacuoles, and the vacuoles are nothing but the empty cell which is going to store that the particular secretion. Then third one is a discharge. The third step is a discharge of that composed material or synthesized material, is known as a secretion. In this phase, actually secretion is a discharge, while previous two phases are the preparatory phase of the secretion occurs by three methods. Okay. In first one is merocrine secretion. Merocrine secretion. The the secretory products accumulates below the free surface of the cell, and they are released constantly in the lumen of the gland. At the time of a secretion, there is a no change in the cell structure. So in this first uppermost image, you are going to see that the merocrine secretion process. The first cell is you are seeing that the synthesis of the particular secretory material, say in the cell, it passes on the second stage, that the secretory material is passed on through the Golgi complex and is processed, and the some secretory vesicles are made in the from the Golgi complex, and each pinched up from the Golgi complex and is migrated towards the apical surface. The secretory vesicles are form fuses with these membrane, and these secretions are oozed out from the that material is secreted from the these cells. So in these particular merocrine secretions, there is a no change in the cell structure, and such example of these are the sweat glands or the goblet cells. We have seen that. The second one is apocrine secretions. The apocrine secretions is nothing but the its apical portion is pinched up and it's secreted, which that with the secretions, the some part of the cell is pinched and the secreted in the ducts or secreted in the with the secretions. Apocrine secretions are not in this type. The secretory product presents in the apical portion of the cell. It is nipped off. Nipped off means the pinched of the separated from the cell is nothing but the nipped off along the secretions and disintegrates from the that particular cell. The cell is not completely destroyed in this process, but the nucleus is remain and then processed to the produce again. The remaining part is uh, stimulates the cell, and uh, the the shaded up material is again synthesized and it again processed and it again uh, pinched up and it again secreted out. The example is mammary gland. The third one is holocrine secretions. Holocrine secretions are nothing but the whole cell is a disintegrate in this process. In this method, the whole cell is disintegrate with the secretion. The lost cell are replaced by the division of relatively undifferentiated cell is replaced over the that cell, and the cell is again um, it take its own stages, and these produce their secretions and packaged or uh, and that secretion is again secreted out. So these are the example of these are the sebaceous glands. In the third one, you are going to see that the third 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 image, the particular cell is synthesizing some substance, but the mature cell does the and becomes the secretory product. The cell itself secreted and the cell is disintegrates in the secretions. So these are these and these are the some type of the endocrine glands we have seen. At the conclusion of the epithelium, we are going to see some functions we have already seen, but I have clamped this together to under better understanding of the what we have seen up till now. So some functions of the epithelium is first one is a protection. The epithelium of the skin covers the entire body surfaces that we have known that the epidermis is known as the skin, and it may be keratinized or non-keratinized. We have seen in our last lecture, and also protects underlining of the soft tissues. We have seen that. Second one is a secretion, what we have seen in this lecture today. The glandular epithelium is secretory in function and pretty much diverse. Example for the some glands like digestive glands or nutritive glands like mammary glands, lubricating glands like the um, sebaceous glands, clear, cleansing glands of eyes, the thermoregulatory glands like the our sweat glands, metabolism regulating glands like thyroid glands, and the inter interrogative like the pituitary or a master gland. The third main function of the epithelium is excretion. Epithelial cells also form excretory glands like kidney tubules and the sweat glands. The fourth function of the epithelium is absorption. uh, the epithelial cells such as columnar epithelium, we have ciliated columnar particularly, are also used for the absorption in the nutrients from the intestine, that the microvilli are in the intestine are for function for the nutritive absorbs some nutritions from the stream itself. And for fifth one, last but not the least, is function of epithelium is a sensation. Some epithelia are modified into neuroepithelial cells. These neuroepithelial cells receives a sensation, and this sensation is uh, come to know for the our body. The taste bud on our tongue is going to how the taste of a food or a food particle is, and what type of it is a sweet, sweet is nothing, sweet is not a taste, it is sour or it is a bitter, etc. And the hair cells of the uh, internal ear for a sensation of a sound. What I am telling, what I am talking now, that you are going to listen, and this your process of listening is maintained by the epithelial linings or epithelial cells which are converted into hair cells in your internal ear, and these are um, sense the sound is produced, or the wave is produced, and you are listening to this lecture today. So we are concluding our epithelium and the types of epithelium today. Thank you. And in next lecture we are going to see the connective tissue. Thank you.